Hello everyone, a very good morning to all. So in continuation with the last lecture, we are now familiar with the redox reactions. What are redox reactions? Where oxidation and reduction are taking place. So also we are familiar with the terms oxidation, reduction, what is oxidizing agent, what is oxidant. Oxidizing agent and the oxidant are the same entities. Reductant and the reducing agent are the same entities. Oxidation is loss of electron and reduction is gain of electron, and the one which is undergoing oxidation will act as reducing agent, and the one which is undergoing reduction will act as a oxidizing agent. So this is what we have done so far. So here is another here again we are taking one example. So here MnO2 is reacting with 4HCl and getting converted to MnCl2, Cl2 and water. So here I have written the oxidation numbers on the top of each element. So we can see that here manganese is getting converted from +4 to +2. That means oxidation number is getting decreased. So that means this is reduction. This is undergoing reduction. So that means it is an oxidizing agent. And HCl, for HCl, the oxidation number for chlorine is getting increased from -1 to 0. That means the oxidation number is increasing. So that means it is oxidation, because here it is loss of electrons. So this is undergoing oxidation. That means it is acting as a reducing agent. Another example is the reaction between zinc and copper sulfate. Here zinc is undergoing oxidation from zinc 0 to zinc +2. So it is a reducing agent here, and copper is undergoing reduction from +2 to copper 0. So it is reduction. Oxidation number is getting decreased from +2 to 0. So it is acting as an oxidizing agent. So this is how oxidation and reduction are taking place in the single reaction, and these are the examples of redox reactions. So let us have an experimental setup of a redox reaction. Let us discuss how the experimental setup for redox reaction works, and how there is an movement of electrons, and how the electricity is produced by the chemical reactions. So here we can see that oxidation and reduction are taking place in two separate containers. Let us have a detailed discussion of this basic galvanic or voltaic cell. So here this is in container 1, it is the solution of zinc sulfate. Here this is the zinc electrode which is dipped in zinc sulfate. This is called as an anode, because here oxidation is going to take place. In case of galvanic cell, always on anode oxidation takes place, and on cathode reduction takes place, and anode oxidation is taking place. This is the negative terminal. Oxidation takes place on the negative terminal, and reduction takes place on the positive terminal. So here we can memorize it as anox and red cat. That means anode is undergoing oxidation and reduction is on the cathode. So this is zinc electrode and this is copper electrode. Zinc is dipped in the solution of 1 molar solution of zinc sulfate, and this here copper is dipped in the 1 molar concentration solution of copper sulfate. So when the reaction starts, this is a salt bridge which is filled with KCl or K2SO4. So this is the half reaction, and this is the other half reaction. Salt bridge keeps the reaction going. So the role of salt bridge is to avoid the saturation. So there is an electron flow from the zinc to the copper terminal, and the current flows in the opposite direction of the electron flow. So when the reaction starts, what will happen is zinc will get dissolved. Here I have shown zinc to get dissolved. Here zinc electrode is getting dissolved, and here in this container deposition of copper is going to take place. Is there on the copper with the progress of the reaction. So zinc is undergoing oxidation and getting converted to zinc 2 positive. So as the reaction proceeds, more and more zinc is getting into the solution, and more copper is getting deposited from the solution to the surface of electrode. So copper is undergoing reduction, from it is getting converted from copper 2 plus, that is copper sulfate, to copper, and zinc is undergoing oxidation. That means zinc is converting from 0 oxidation state to zinc 2 positive. So current flow is always opposite to the direction of flow of electrons. Electrons are flowing from zinc to copper. That means from anode to cathode, and current is flowing from cathode to anode. So in the simple terms, if we have the assembly which we have discussed is the assembly for galvanic cell. In simple terms, we can represent this galvanic cell in this form. Here on the left side, we represent the oxidation, and on the right side, we represent the reduction. Here oxidation is taking place from zinc to zinc 2 plus. These are separated by single line, and this double line represents the salt bridge, which is separating both the containers. So here reduction is taking place for copper 2 positive to copper. This is the reduction half, this is the oxidation half, this is the anode part, this is the cathode part. So this is the simplest example of the representation of any cell. So this is how we can represent the oxidation half and the reduction half. We can represent any cell in this form. So next comes the term that comes the term that is standard electrode potential. Now, what standard electrode potential? Before proceeding for the standard electron potential, we should know that why there is an electron flow. Why electron flows when we assemble this setup? Why there is a flow of electrons? So the answer to this question will come here, that there is a difference in the electrode potential. And due to this electrode potential difference, electron flows from the lower electrode potential to the region of higher electrode potential. So here we have taken copper electrode in the solution of copper sulfate. So nothing is connected. It is just a simple copper is dipped in copper sulfate. So here three possibilities are there. One is copper will get into the solution and get converted to copper 2 positive, or copper 2 positive can deposit on copper electrode and get converted to copper, or nothing happens. So these out of, if nothing happens, then we can do nothing. But if one of the thing is happening out of the first two possibilities, then it will lead to the solution. If if first thing is happening, then the solution is going to be more and more positive, and electrode is going to be more and more negative. So in some time, will be saturation, and the reverse reaction will start, and ultimately equilibrium will be achieved. So at the point of when the equilibrium will be achieved, at the point of equilibrium, what will happen? There will be charge separation between the solution and the electrode. So due to this charge separation, the electrode potential difference is set up between the solution and the electrode, which is called as electrode potential. So this electrode potential is the driving force for the flow of electrons. So electrode potential can be defined as the measure of the tendency of an electrode in the half cell to gain or lose electrons. So electrode potential can be defined as the measure of the tendency of an electrode in the half cell reaction to gain or lose electrons. So electrode potential is of two forms, that is oxidation potential and the reduction potential. Both these entities, oxidation potential and reduction potential, are reverse of each other. If we say the value of oxidation potential is X, then the reduction potential, the value of reduction potential for the same set of ions or same cell is going to be minus X. So the electrode potential depends upon three factors, that is nature of metal ion, concentration of ions in solution, and third one is temperature. We can fix these two things, that is concentration of ions in solution, we can take it as 1 mole per liter, and temperature we can fix at standard conditions. So the ultimate dependence will be on the nature of the metal ion. So based upon this, we can these can be the different electrode potential, different metals can be compared for the electrode potential with the. So we need some standard reference for the for which standard hydrogen electrode is used. So what is standard hydrogen electrode? It is a platinum wire sealed in a glass tube with platinum foil attached to it. The foil is coated with finely divided platinum, which acts as platinum electrode, dipped in the solvent, which is 1 molar of HCl. Pure H2 gas is constantly bubbled through the solution at 1 atmosphere, 298 Kelvin. So this is all about the setup of standard hydrogen electrode. So why do we need standard hydrogen electrode? This will be discussing in a while. So the electrode potential of standard hydrogen electrode is taken as 0. For this, we take the value of electrode potential as 0. So and we use this electrode potential as reference electrode for determining the electrode potential for all the other half reactions. So the electrode potential of a metal electrode as determined with respect to standard hydrogen electrode under the condition of 1 molar per liter concentration and temperature of 296 Kelvin is represented as E naught. This is called as standard electrode potential, or we can say it is called as electromotive force or electrode potential of the cell. So electrochemical cell is having two half reactions, that is reduction half and the oxidation half. Whenever there is electron transfer in the cell, that is due to the electrode potential difference among the two sides. So the difference between the electrode potential of two electrodes which makes an electrochemical cell is called the cell potential. So the cell potential is the potential difference between the two sides, so which is called as electromotive force, or we call it electrode potential or standard electrode potential of that particular cell. Not standard electrode potential, but electrode potential. So electromotive force of any cell is given by electrode potential of the substance getting reduced minus electrode potential of substance getting oxidized. So that means reduction takes place on the right side, that is at cathode. So E right minus E left, we can write it as, or we can write it as E cathode minus E anode. These E are taken as reduction potential. Here the point to be noted that here the electrode potential are written in the form of reduction potential. So by convention we write these electrode potential whether the not concerned, we are not concerned whether the oxidation is taking place or the reduction is taking place. We write the electrode potential in terms of reduction potentials. So next we have the measurement of electrode potential. How do we measure electrode potential? As it is not possible to measure the electrode potential of only half reaction, so we need some, here comes the need of standard hydrogen electrode, which we discussed earlier. So what we do is we just use this standard hydrogen electrode as one of the electrodes along with an unknown electrode, for which we need to find the EMF. So for a standard hydrogen electrode, EMF is 0, and so the overall EMF of the complete cell is going to be the electrode potential for that particular half reaction that we have attached with a standard hydrogen electrode. So this is the strategy which is used for calculating the electrode potentials for the half reactions, and those are called as standard electrode potential for those when those are attached to the standard hydrogen electrode, as the EMF for standard hydrogen electrode is taken as 0. So this type of cell we form, E naught cell, can be calculated, that is EMF for the complete cell can be calculated as E naught R minus E naught right minus left. Here it is on the right side it is cathode, and on the left side it is anode. Reduction minus oxidation. So this is how it is written. So for hydrogen it is 0 minus that for zinc, and overall it we can measure. So it comes out to be this, and for zinc it comes out to be minus 0.763. So the reduction potential for zinc is minus 0.763. So this indicates that, and here the second case we have taken for the copper. For the copper, it comes out to be standard electrode potential comes out to be 0.337. For zinc, it comes out to be negative, and for copper, it comes out to be positive. So the negative value of reduction potential means that it prefers oxidation, and copper prefers reduction. So if standard electrode potential is negative, that means electron accepting tendency must be less than standard hydrogen electrode. And if standard electrode potential is positive, that means electron accepting tendency must be more than standard hydrogen electrode. So this is clear that for zinc it came out to be negative. That means for zinc electron accepting tendency is less, and for copper electron tendency is high. So in an electrochemical cell or with standard hydrogen electrode, the electrode at which reduction takes place is the its standard electrode potential is positive, and the electrode at which oxidation takes place, its standard electrode potential is negative. So by calculating the standard electrode potential for different moieties, we have made the electrochemical series, which is also called as activity series. So the definition of electrochemical series, that it is a series where elements are arranged in order of their increasing reduction potentials. So there we have made a series in the order of increasing reduction potentials, which have been calculated by connecting these half cells with the standard hydrogen electrode. So from the activity series, we can see that more positive the value of reduction potential, higher is its tendency to get reduced, or higher is its tendency to undergo reduction, and more negative the value of reduction potential, lesser is its tendency to gain electron. More negative value means it is more prone to undergo oxidation rather than undergoing reduction. So the standard values are always written in the form of their reduction potential by convention. So this is the convention which I have already discussed, that the standard values are always written in the form of reduction potential. So if we want to know its oxidation potential and we know the reduction potential, then oxidation potential is going to be just by we'll get the oxidation potential by putting a minus sign on the value of reduction potential. If reduction potential is x, then it is going to be minus x. If it is minus x, then it is going to be x. So magnitude is same, but sign is opposite. So this is it for this video. In the next video, we'll be discussing about the applications of redox potential data. So this is in this video so far, we have discussed about the electrochemical series. We have discussed about how to calculate the standard electrode potential for different electrodes. So this is very important, and how the standard electrode potentials are written as the reduction potentials, and what are the significance of positive reduction, positive value of the standard electrode potential, and the negative value of standard electrode potential. So these are the things which we have discussed so far. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much.